Hey everybody, welcome back to another production vlog. This is day 2 of a 3-day shoot we did for a school district. Here we are again loading our new cart outs. So we love doing these little time lapses. This one took us about 2 minutes to set up, and that was how long it took us to set it up with it fully broken down. Other than we did leave the wheels on this time. We tried another way, a different shoot where we broke it completely down, wheels and everything. And we found that it really doesn't take that much longer to break it all the way down. So anyway, it then took us about 7 minutes to load out the cart. We've got all the different poles going in. We've got camera. We did notice that one of the tripod center posts actually fit perfectly down in this hole. So we use that little tripod center post to hold the camera. So that's what you see rolling right there is a tripod center post. So today we are still shooting with the Sony FX6, Sony FX3, and the new Blazar Remus Anamorphic 1.5x full frame anamorphic lenses. We've got the cart loaded down with a handful of stands, tripod, light tubes, and then we're clipping on some silks and floppies. We've got little Godox 300 bicolor just for flexibility. We've also got, and this time we loaded that on a triple header adapter. That way we can get the light, 2 flags, and we decided that it was too big and we didn't like this. So we didn't bring the triple header back, but it was worth a try. You know, we got to figure it all out. Try it every time. This is what we need a shot of. Here, Mike. Well, grab a shot of me rolling that in. Mike got a couple shots of me rolling the cart in, just so you can kind of see what it looks like as we're rolling this thing in. We're still really reviewing this cart. Now, one thing that will come up later in the video is as we were loading this cart, we realized one of the tires was a little flat, and it got worse throughout the day. So we'll come back to that story, but there's a little foreshadowing. So as we're rolling in, and we've been to this campus so many times. We've worked with this client for like 14 years. So I've been on this campus so many times. You know, rolls through the gate just fine.
Yeah, that left one needs a little bit of air.
And again, we've got the big 21.5-inch monitor, which we decided is kind of big for rolling around.
Yeah, he went pretty fast there.
So a little bit of a Tiny Planet rolling here. You can see we've got the Ronin RS2. We've got the Tilta ring on that, and then we've got the camera, and that's how we're rolling. They had to take out the center post on the door for us to get in because that was a little bit of a tight doorway. We did find ways now to go through doorways better. So in some of the later vlogs, we'll kind of talk through that. And we did not set up the gimbal or the camera in the parking lot. So we get to set it up here and you get to watch us put monitors up. We had the monitor on the FX6 rig real low for shoulder work, and Mike had to get his whole gimbal together. So here's a brief interlude of the tire. So we ended up getting a new tube in that thing, and that worked out great. Here we are doing an outdoor interview. You can see that nice high bright monitor is easy to see even in the sunlight. We've got the light just laying on the ground because we're cool like that. Here you can see the lighting setup. We've basically just got a silk and a floppy for negative fill because we do like to keep that contrast ratio. These outdoor interviews can, you know, if you don't have that contrast ratio, they don't look as great. This is another interview we did. Again, we've kind of got that little sandwich between the silk and the floppy to give that negative fill. This is an interview we did in the shade. As I'm recording the voiceover for this, my wife just brought me a delicious piece of homemade gluten-free sourdough bread that she just finished baking, and boy, it was good. So thank you, Emily. Now we're setting up for another scene. This is some B-roll, just kind of showing some of the things that students do in this pathway at the school where they do performing arts and different things. So they're just showing a little piece of a play, and they had a fun little thing with the Minotaur. So Mike's running around on stage with a gimbal, focusing himself on those anamorphic lenses while I'm getting B-roll with the other camera. And we did a few takes on this thing, and they eventually knocked off the Minotaur's arm, which was pretty fun. And here we've got another outdoor interview setup. You can see this little sandwich that we kept making all day. Just walking a floppy in as close as we could get it to kind of keep the bottom of it from flopping around. Bring a silk in, and that would make a nice little light sandwich that we would use. We shot most of these interviews on the 65mm in the Remus set, which has a good look for interviews. And then we just would kind of keep pivoting the world around to get different interviews in a very small space without having to move too much. And you'll notice that Mike's got that floppy tilted over because we're really taking the light off of the top of them and really helping to bring that negative fill in. Students came out, so we got a couple bits of quick B-roll. One thing I'd like to point out in terms of lighting is we've really been playing a lot with negative fill and watching videos. I joined up Shane Hurlbut's Filmmakers Academy because I want to improve my DP skills, and learning a lot about negative fill there as well as on other videos. And one of the things that we've really come to understand recently is negative fill does not suck light away. Negative fill blocks light. And so having a larger negative fill source, having it closer, it's not about sucking light away, which is kind of the way I always thought about it. It's more about blocking light. Shane likes to say it's what your subject sees, what the skin sees. So when you think about it that way, like, okay, what do they see? And if they see a big giant black flag, then that's what's going to be, quote, reflected on their skin. So by using that to block light, we're able to get a lot better contrast ratio. So we've been really kind of dialing in that negative fill. You see a handful of shots here of the cart, the monitor, all that good stuff. This was one of the interviews we were getting, and you can kind of just see how that all comes together. What I like to do when shooting on the Sony cameras is take the onboard monitor, punch it all the way in for a critical focus, and then leave the external monitor wide. That way I can see the image there. So that's one little tip I use, especially when it's outdoors and it's just really hard to see. Here's just some beauty shots of the cart in action, all loaded up. Kind of as we're doing our setups and things. So you can see this is a really nice cart. We're really, really pleased with it. It carries stuff well. We really loaded it down the other day. That'll be a whole nother video. But we pushed it and it responded well. Yeah, we did use the 100 millimeter lens for some of these interviews, which had a really good look. It probably compressed the background a little too much, but for some of the shots it was what we needed, and it looked great. People hate on the 100 saying it's soft, but if you stop it down to f4 or whatever, it's a good lens. Back to rolling this cart around, and the tire's flat, so you can see we struggle some moments to roll that around. You can see here we're kind of zooming in on that flat tire, which it rolls because Mike's lifting the cart because he's a strong beast of a man as he's doing this thing. Michael lift this whole, just like deadlift this cart in and out of the car. I'm like, all right, I'm not that big and strong. But yeah, you see it like totally wobbling there if he like lets go and lets it go on the wheel. So anyway, definitely don't roll over goat heads. That was what took the wheels out. But hey, that's just like anything else.
Josh, you do this every day?
Yeah, you guys tired?
A bit.
Tony's only speaking for herself.
Always have fun banter with the clients, I mean, again, we know these people. Like, we've worked with these people for years, so we have fun. I have fun with Mike, too.
We'll come back in 5 or 10 minutes.
We went out to the car to air the wheel up.
So I'm guessing it plugs into your cigarette lighter, right?
Exactly.
The pump was not in the car.
Here.
So we rolled all the way out to the car for nothing. So we had to roll it right back in. Still with a flat tire. There's that wheel. Still flat. But you know what? Overall, it's doing good. Camera gets shaky, especially that gimbal gets shaky sometimes. So we found that if we pile enough sandbags on it, it stays smooth. So that's what we are doing now. Piling lots of sandbags on it, which keeps it steady. Just all the things you got to figure out as you start using a new piece of gear for the first time. So here comes another time lapse of setting up, because we love time lapses of setting up. Here we had to figure out our spot. We got to meet our students, and we had to make our little light sandwich again. And so we just kind of are looking at both sides of this thing. So Mike's over here setting up lights while I'm setting up camera. He's got a monitor so he can see what's going on. We're setting up a silk. We're setting up the floppy to keep the sun off. And the wind starts blowing. You can see it in the trees. And it was a little windy. So we ended up having to stick something in the little pocket. And all we had was our tube lights. So we stuck a tube light in there, which was exciting. So Mike was kind of hanging out, holding on to that tube light to make sure that it wouldn't bang against the pole and bust our tube light, because that would have been too exciting. We also determined, based on the direction the wind was blowing, it was safest for Mike to hold on to that floppy. That way the floppy could not fall over and hit our student. And if the silk went, you know, at least it wasn't going to hurt anybody. Also doing is making sure we have sandbags and everything. But boy, was that wind kicking. And it just kept kicking. And at one point, something really exciting happens. And Mike is here behind our floppy, so he can't see the silk. Otherwise, he would have caught what's about to happen. And I was on the other side of the camera the moment it happened, so I didn't see it either as it started to fall. But Ruben, who is from the district helping run the interview, he saw it and he ran for it first. And then we got it dialed in, and then Sonya came and held on to it for us because the wind was just blowing hard. But another benefit of having that floppy was it was also, I mean, look at Sonya's hair just blowing in the wind. But our interview subject, it's not blowing in his mic, it's not messing up his hair, because that silk is, or I'm sorry, the floppy is doing double duty as a windbreak in addition to providing that shadow for the lighting. So anyway, fun things. Always bring more sandbags than you think you need, which we brought more next time. Normally, we don't fly something like that without heavier sandbags, but we're trying to go light and nimble, so we have the light stands instead of the C stands. We didn't bring a ton of sandbags because, you know, we're trying to move fast. And we decided that that was a mistake, and we're not doing that again because, you know, safety. But thankfully, nobody got hurt, and the equipment didn't even get damaged. That was great. More shots of rolling the cart out, because that's really, really exciting footage, because everything about production is about rolling your cart around. Can you tell we're excited about this cart? And now for a little 13-minute load up sequence, because it always takes longer to put back than it takes to come out. I don't know why, but it's just the truth. It never goes back in the car as fast as it comes out of the car. Especially when you got to break stuff down. Now, at this case, it was also the end of the day, so we were about to take an hour drive back to Bakersfield from Porterville, and so we were putting things away in cases a little more safely, because we're not just rolling 5 minutes between locations. We're actually like putting everything back in the boxes and whatever to make it totally safe for transport. So we're breaking the gimbal all the way down and this and that and whatever. So anyway, more breakdown than we normally would have by, you know, a few minutes if we were just rolling to the next location. But still, all this has to happen. And here we go, breaking the cart down. All said and done, another successful shoot. We do have one more location we're going to roll out to, but we're not bringing everything, so that's why we're packing everything down. This last location just rolled in, kind of minimal. Just brought in camera, a silk, a light. We should have brought the neg. We didn't bring the neg. We should have brought the neg. We looked at the footage and we're like, we should have brought the neg. Even while we were there, we're like, we should get the neg. But, you know, we were tired and it was the end of the day, and we just decided to be lazy and not bring the neg. And we just T-barred the tube light, super easy, just clamped it on the light, didn't bother booming it or anything. Just kind of kept it simple, but hey, you know, it was a schedule and we had to move, and so sometimes you just got to cut corners and just keep things moving, which we did. You can see there the close-up in the monitor. And we shot that one on the 65. And that's kind of what it looked like without D-Squeeze. Just looking on the phone monitor app, so you can kind of see what that looked like. So, yeah, we could have made it look nicer if we had more time, but we didn't have a lot of time, and we didn't want to have to roll the entire rigmarole in. Well, thanks for watching another production vlog. Stay tuned for more. We've got more shoots coming, and we've already shot more vlogs. I've already got them in the can that I just got to get edited and out to you guys. So keep tuning in. We'll be working through the different gear that we have and lighting setups and all kinds of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you in the next one.